Jai Sriman Narayan.
Jai Sri Narayan.
Jai Sriman Narayan.
Jai Sri Narayan.
I pay my obeisances to my spiritual master, Srimad Jagat Guru Sudarshan Acharyaji Maharaj. I pay my obeisances to Lord Sri Ramanuj. I pay my obeisances to Mother Lakshmi. And I pay my obeisances to Lord Sriman Narayan. I welcome all of you here physically at the Sri Narayan Dham in Durban, South Africa. I welcome those of you that's watching this discourse live, locally, nationally and internationally, and I welcome in advance those that's going to be watching this discourse when it is posted on YouTube and the various groups from around the world subsequently. Our topic for discussion continues. Modern science is catching up with supreme science, and the world is Lord Narayan's classroom. Those of you that seated here today, what day is it today?
Gita Jayanti.
What day?
Gita Jayanti.
Who's Gita Jayanti?
It's Krishna.
Sorry?
It's Krishna's day.
Okay, I thought you said Gita is somebody's name and Jayanti is the surname. What you say?
It's called Gita Jayanti.
It's called Gita Jayanti. What does Gita mean?
Our scriptures Gita.
Bhagavad Gita. Bhagavad Gita Jayanti. Bhagavad Gita Jayanti. What does Bhagavad Gita mean? Song of the Bhagavad Gita is set in what form? In hymn form, so that it can be sung. So Bhagavad Gita means celestial song of God. Bhagavad means God, Gita means song, singing. Bhagavad Gita means song of God. Bhagavad Gita means song of God. Today, God sang. Sita, don't look there. Internet will bluff you. Guru won't bluff you. Because the Guru is from the Sri Ramanuj Sampradaya. Alright? Today is the day Lord Sriman Narayan, in his incarnation as Lord Sri Krishna, gave the world the scientific journal of supreme science called Bhagavad Gita. Again, today is the day Lord Sriman Narayan, in his Krishna avatar, gave the supreme science journal to mankind called Bhagavad Gita. Are you all understanding? This is the journal of supreme science, and all scientists, all the greatest scientists from the Western world have on numerous occasions through their scientific discoveries have mentioned that they got their scientific inspiration or modern science inspiration from the Supreme Science Journal called the Bhagavad Gita. Is that clear? And then I'm declaring that the only authentic purport, of this Supreme Science Journal is the purport by Lord Sri Ramanuj. So I'm declaring today on Gita Jayanti that the only authentic purport of the Bhagavad Gita is that by Lord Sri Ramanuj. And I've declared earlier that it is the Journal of Supreme Science spoken by the source of Supreme Science himself, Lord Sriman Narayan. Can you see how many bold declarations we have made today on the day that the Gita was spoken? Sita? Yes. So this Sri Ramanuja Gita Bhasya is the only authentic purport of the Bhagavad Gita. And when we say only authentic purport of the Bhagavad Gita, we say in every spiritual dimension. There are gurus that gave their commentary on the Bhagavad Gita at different levels. Lord Sri Ramanuj gave it in every level. Do you understand? So some gurus gave it in grade 1 and some gurus gave it in grade 12. Lord Sri Ramanuj gave it in the highest form. Lord Sri Ramanuj gave it in the highest form. How do we know that? What does science mean? What is the meaning of science, Sita? Last week you found it. Science means knowing things as they really are and knowledge of the universe. Science means knowing things as they really are with knowledge of the universe and creation of that particular universe. Knowing things as they are in terms of the universe and the creation thereof. We also say the supreme science is the supreme law. The supreme science is the supreme law, and this supreme law is summarized in the Bhagavad Gita. Lord Narayan summarized the supreme science and the supreme law in his song of 700 verses called the Bhagavad Gita. So, why did I declare that although thousands of gurus did their commentary on the Bhagavad Gita, including Mohandas Gandhi, and a host of Westerners, I'm saying superseding all of these people and gurus and commentators on the Bhagavad Gita by light years. By light years is Lord Sri Ramanuj in his Gita Bhasya. How can I make this declaration? In science, as common man understands, and in law, as common man understands, when you make an assertion, you must validate it with other legal or scientific references. So this is both a science journal and a law for the universe. It is both a science journal and a law for this universe. And Lord Sri Ramanuj has accomplished both. Lord Sri Ramanuj has accomplished in his purport both explaining the science and the supreme science and explaining the supreme law by referencing his purport. Like no other saint or commentator has done to that absolute detail. Are you understanding? So Lord Sri Ramanuj did not do a commentary based on a particular philosophy. His purport explains in simpler Sanskrit what Lord Sri Krishna stated. It is not a philosophical approach in this purport of a sectarian philosophy. It is the exact explanation that was spoken in Sanskrit by Lord Sri Krishna in a simpler form in which man can understand. And together with that, he made more than adequate references to the Upanishads and the Vedanta Sutras, which no other commentator of the Bhagavad Gita have done. For the Upanishads is the ultimate law. Upanishads is the ultimate law, and the Bhagavad Gita is therefore also called Gita Upanishad. You will, when you irk your interest in the Bhagavad Gita, you'll find references made of the Bhagavad Gita in the scriptures and named as Gita Upanishad. And the reason it is, Sita, also called the Gita Upanishad because it is the cream of the Upanishads. It is the cream of the Upanishads, and Lord Sri Ramanuj is the only commentator that stirred the ocean of the Bhagavad Gita in such a sublime and perfect manner that the cream rose from the bottom to the top. And that cream is known as the Sri Gita Bhasya. All of you understand it. So if you want to know the absolute truth, You'll find it in the Sri Ramanuj Gita Bhasya. It covers every dimension and every domain and not a particular philosophy. And all these philosophies and sub-philosophies and subdivisions in unauthorized commentaries on the Bhagavad Gita and other Hindu scriptures has given rise to a man named Dr. Zakir Naik. Who has heard of this man, Dr. Zakir Naik? So he draws audiences up to thousands of people. He has learned certain verses from the Bhagavad Gita, from the Upanishads, from the Vedas, and he uses these verses when questioned by those born in Sanatan Dharma. And he uses these verses out of context to show that Islam is the supreme religion and the Quran is the supreme scripture. It is our own that are born in Sanatan Dharma, in these conventions that he holds wherever, most probably in India, where he subdues Hindus. He subdues Hindus by quoting out of context. And he even went as far as stating that the four Vedas, the Upanishads, and the Puranas have predicted Prophet Muhammad. And these that are born in Sanatan Dharma, I see them submitting to these false propaganda that he is projecting. I see them submitting. Go on YouTube, Dr. Zakir Naik, N-A-I-K, and in every meeting of his, he has thousands that gather there. And our brothers from Sanatan Dharma, remember Sanatan Dharma is not a religion. Sanatan Dharma is a supreme science. He convinces to false propaganda using the Upanishads, using the Bhagavad Gita, and using the Vedas to show that Sanatan Dharma endorses Islam, when Sanatan Dharma is not a religion. Why you think this is so? Because these that go on his show do not know the Upanishads, do not know the Vedas, do not know the Bhagavad Gita. So when this man, who has by-hearted all the verses of the Upanishads, all the verses of the Bhagavad Gita, all the verses of the Vedas, when he gives a quote out of context, if you in Sanatan Dharma do not know your scriptures, you cannot contest that quotation given. Is it not? So it is time on this Gita Jayanti that those born in Sanatan Dharma and claim to be Hindus start. Every Hindu household should have should proudly, every Hindu household should have a Gita Bhasya. Bhasya means commentary. A Bhagavad Gita commentary of Lord Sri Ramanuj. And if you have a Bhagavad Gita commentary of Lord Sri Ramanuj, then the Zakir Naiks of this world will never be able to pull wool over your eyes. And it is not in the domain of gurus in Sanatan Dharma to attack any other religion. But because this false propaganda by Dr. Zakir Naik is on YouTube, it's accessible to everyone in the world. Is it not?
Yes.
Then we become duty bound. We become duty bound not to attack, but to defend the absolute truth as contained in the Vedas. It is only the Bhagavad Gita is the only scripture in the world that answers every question. The Abrahamic religions cannot answer all the problems that confound or bewilder the mind of man. The Bhagavad Gita, in a mere 700 verses, answers every complexity that confronts mankind in this world. You understand? The Bible does not have a comprehensive answer, neither does the Quran have a comprehensive answer. Both the Bible and Quran state that you only have one lifetime on this earth. Is that a complete answer? If you want to know why am I suffering and why is my neighbor not suffering? The Bible can't answer that, neither can the Quran answer that. If you are a pair of twins, born from the same genes, from the same mother, from the same father, born within a few seconds of each other, how one is a high court judge and how one is a criminal? Neither can the Quran nor the Bible answer that. If the essence of the Quran and the essence of the Bible is to be taken in its reality, then we have an unfair God. Then we have a biased God. We have a biased and an unfair God. God chose one of those twins to be a high court judge, and God chose one of those twins to be a criminal. Can we have a biased God? Can God be biased?
No.
If God cannot be biased, then only in the Bhagavad Gita will you find an answer why one twin is a criminal and one twin is a high court judge. And similarly, we can answer every question mankind has in the Bhagavad Gita, which these Abrahamic scriptures do not have comprehensively. All of you understand? And this is specifically for Dr. Zakir Naik, who is brainwashing those that born in Sanatan Dharma itself. What is the definition of religion? Sita? Anyone else who has data can look up the definition of religion.
Religion is the belief in and worship of a superhuman controlling power, especially a personal god or gods.
Again?
The belief in and worship of a superhuman controlling power, especially a personal god or gods.
That is called religion. Now go look at science. What is the definition of science?
Science is the intellectual and practical activity encompassing the systematic study of the structure and behavior of the physical and natural world through observation and experiment.
Where does Sanatan Dharma fit in? Where does the Bible and Quran and the Torah fit in? Where will the Bhagavad Gita fit in these two definitions?
Science.
Under the definition?
Science.
Science. Where will the Bible and the Quran and the Torah fit in?
Religion.
Under the definition?
Religion.
Under the definition? Religion. Now let's look at this universe. Is this universe is the basic component of this universe science or religion?
Science.
Is the basic component of this universe science or religion? In which category does the basic components, atoms, molecules, neutrons, protons, electrons, hydrogen, oxygen, nitrogen, where does it fall in which category?
Science.
Where does Bhagavad Gita fit in?
Science.
Where does Bible fit in?
Religion.
Where does Quran fit in?
Religion.
Where does the Torah fit in?
Religion.
Which is more superior?
Science.
Because without oxygen, religion cannot survive. Can religion survive without oxygen?
No.
Can science survive without religion?
Yes.
So which is more superior?
Science.
Science. And which is the supreme science?
Bhagavad Gita.
In which system will you find the supreme science?
Sanatan Dharma.
Sanatan Dharma. All of you understood? All of you understood?
Yes.
So this is why those of us that are born in Sanatan Dharma, we do not debate with Dr. Zakir Naik, because he's debating religion and we are debating science. Can you debate religion and science in one category? And this is why Sanatan Dharma cannot be debated. Can something be that is absolute be debated?
No.
So we're declaring today, that the Bhagavad Gita of Sanatan Dharma is the essence of supreme science that pertain to the universe. It pertains to both the living entities and the non-living entities. It pertains to the comprehensive universe. And religion only pertains to those fragments that have a particular faith. Those fragments that have a particular faith. Let us examine this. Look at the definition of faith.
Faith, okay, it's a complete trust or confidence in someone or something, or a strong belief in the doctrines of a religion based on spiritual conviction, either rather than proof.
Rather than proof. Sanatan Dharma is proof. Faith does not have to have proof. What is more absolute? Proof or blind faith?
Proof.
Kavir? Faith or evidential proof? What is more valuable in life? Evidential proof. And where you find the evidential proof? In Sanatan Dharma, because Sanatan Dharma is not a religion. Religion is faith-based. And she gave a definition of faith. Faith need not necessarily be evidence-based. It is your perception. It is your personal. Faith belongs to who? To each individual. Whom does faith belong to? Each individual. Whom does science belong to? The entire universe. Science belongs to the entire universe. Every faith can change. Can you replace the function of oxygen?
No.
Sita, you pondering?
Never.
If the function of oxygen cannot be changed, can you change your faith?
Yes.
Kavir, next week Sunday, can you wear a suit and tie and carry the black book, and you and Vanessa? Yes, you can. Who's there to stop you? Brother Kavir and sister Vanessa. Who's there to stop you? No one. Because faith belongs to brother Kavir and sister Vanessa. Isn't it? So tomorrow you can change your faith. Okay? Can you change the intake of oxygen in your system and the exhalation of carbon dioxide? So religion can be changed in any stroke, but no one can change Sanatan Dharma. Because Sanatan Dharma is sourced from the supreme scientist Lord Sriman Narayan. And religious is sourced from the human entity. Faith is sourced from the human entity. All of you understand? So the supreme science journal, which even modern scientists, right from the year 1800, as they discovered science, they all commended the Bhagavad Gita as the only scientific scripture of the world. And the Bhagavad Gita is the cream of the 108 Upanishads. All of you understand? Are there any questions? Any questions? I don't see anybody happy here. You all look like you all belong to other religions. And you all have been smacked to the Bhagavad Gita. That's how you all look, Sita.
Not me.
So let's see, in conclusion, what Lord Sriman Narayan, in conclusion, what Lord Sriman Narayan is saying to balance what? His superiority. What Lord Sriman Narayan is saying as the source of all sciences. Rishi, in Sanatan Dharma, we have an answer for everything. If you are suffering, what answer does Sanatan Dharma give for your suffering?
Karma.
Accumulated sins. Accumulated? Is that the answer given in Sanatan Dharma for your suffering? Accumulated sins. And what is the cure for suffering? Elimination of the accumulated sins. Logical? If you're suffering due to accumulated sins, then your suffering will be negated by
Knowledge.
nullification of the accumulated sins, which you will attain through knowledge, which you will attain through knowledge from which great book?
The Bhagavad Gita.
The Bhagavad Gita. If you belong in any other religious system, you cannot negate your accumulated sins. You cannot negate your... All religions have a date of birth. All religions have a date of birth. Anything that is born, what have you observed? What have you observed as a human being in terms of birth? Have you seen things being born? Have you knowledge of things that are born? You plant a seed, it gives birth to a tree or a plant. What happens to the tree and the plant? It flourishes, and after a time it dies. Anything that takes birth is surely to die. Have all of you as humans experienced that?
Yes.
You understand? So religion has date of birth. Science does not have date of birth. And the supreme science is called Sanatan Dharma. What does Sanatan means? Eternal. What does eternal mean? always there. What does dharma means?
Duty.
What does dharma means? Duty. Duty of whom?
Discharge.
Duty of whom?
Yes,
If there's duty, there has to be an entity that is superior than you, so that you can perform that duty to please that person that is superior than you. Is it not? You see? What duties you perform to please your wife?
Should be asking her.
This is sharp. This is sharp, yeah. Alright? This is what duties you perform to please your wife? Similarly, there is an eternal duty that is performed by each individual soul. Each individual soul, and that eternal duty called Sanatan Dharma at the apex means serving the Supreme Personality of Godhead in perpetuity. In perpetuity. You understand? All of you understand? So we are born in this universe because of sins accumulated in past lives. We are given human bodies so that we can redeem these sins. We are given human body so that we may redeem these sins. Unlike the Abrahamic religions, there is not just one lifetime. 153 trillion years have already passed in this cycle of creation, and one complete cycle of creation is 311 trillion, 40 billion years. All the same souls that live in the material universe continue to take birth in various forms as per the action in their last human form. As per the action in their last human form. And this goes on up until material creation is closed at the end of 311 trillion, 40 billion years. Now can you see perfect answers? Whatever you do in this life will affect your next life. And whatever you did in your previous life, you reap in the fruits in this life. Is this perfect science?
Yes.
Is this perfect science? Can you understand why you're suffering? And can you understand why your neighbor, who's a rogue in this life, you are honest in this life, and your neighbor is a rogue in this life, you are honest and suffering, and your neighbor keeps getting promotions and he keeps getting richer. Can you understand? Because in your previous life, you was a rogue and he was an honest person. You feel good? Is there any reason to be jealous of your neighbor? Why? Because you earned it and he earned it. You earned your status today and your neighbor earned his status today. What you did in your previous life, you're living it in this life, and what your neighbor did in the previous life is living in this life. This perplexity, this question which has boggled mankind, answers can only be found in Sanatan Dharma and not in the Abrahamic religions. Because Abrahamic religions are faith-based, they have taken birth at a particular point, whereas Sanatan Dharma is the manual for this universe. You understand? Sanatan Dharma is the Vedas within Sanatan Dharma is the manual for this entire universe. In the Vedas, not a grain of sand has been missed out. In the Vedas, not a grain of sand has been missed out. And don't you think it's time those that are born in Sanatan Dharma put up their heads and stand up for the absolute truth. For the past 1,000 years, this truth, this absolute truth, was obliterated and torn to shards and pieces 700 years by the Muslims and 300 years by the Christians. They took the great 1,000-headed snake of Sanatan Dharma and they tried to crush it over 1,000 years. But because Sanatan Dharma is not man-made, no man can destroy it. And if you smash one head of a snake, it still has many, many heads. And these heads of the 1,000-headed snakes of Sanatan Dharma is the Guru Parampara of the Sri Ramanuj Sampradaya. These heads that keep popping up from the darkness since the advent of Kali Yuga to this point in time today, these 1,000-headed snakes that keep popping up are the spiritual masters of the Sri Ramanuj Sampradaya. And the teachings of Sanatan Dharma can never ever be obliterated. Jai Sriman Narayan.